shake the tree every so often. What I mean by that is I shake the tree of all the young fruit, of all the intelligent fruit, of all the new millennium thinkers, the people who are looking into the future, who are trapped off in a lot of these old millennium movements. These old movements from the last millennium, from the last century, have outlived their usefulness. All of them. The founders of these groups were sincere. They played a part in the evolution of our people. Their teachings played a part in the evolution of our people. Some were receivers. When I referred to, I broke it down as rays, or those who were receivers. Others were forerunners for other things, for the receivers. It was all part of an evolution to move us into the future. However, you can only acknowledge that when you see the bigger picture. You can only acknowledge that when you don't get caught up on people's personalities, you don't get caught up on people's vernacular, you don't get caught up on flashy talk and convo and dress and people putting on shows. That's what's happening right now. People are putting on magic shows for us. People are razzling, dazzling us, and playing card games and pulling rabbits out of the hat to keep our attention unfocused. And we're going to talk about that tonight. The card players, the pranksters, the people that are keeping the old things going to prevent us from looking into the bigger picture, to see the future, the bigger picture. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares, and tonight we are going to be doing a broadcast on State of Mentel Radio. This broadcast will consist of old movements, old century knowledge, things that haven't quite, made the grade in this millennium. I'm not going to focus this broadcast on chopping down the old movements because they were necessary, But in speaking about the new millennium, where all things, don't necessarily renew themselves, the door opens up to higher knowledge. And those who are able to tune into it, those who are able to acknowledge or see the movements that are going to come up, or the movement, the premier movement that comes up to receive that knowledge, are the ones who are going to be of the elect in this new millennium. As I said, it was all leading up to this. We are in the 21st century right now, right? And this planet is governed by the number 3, right? Everything, all the movies that were made were focused on this millennium, 2001 Space Odyssey, things like this. So, obviously, this was supposed to be a time where we were supposed to be going through a jump in an evolution. Just as the ancient societies went through jumps in their evolution, like the Egyptians, the Sumerians, all of them. That's why they were able to build on higher levels. We're supposed to be going through our own jump. We're supposed to be going through our own evolution. But to have a lot of these last millennium teachers who have taken the place of the last millennium leaders, people who want to stand in their place because they want props, they want money, they want to hold us back. They got us still focusing on ancient things like the Egyptians, the Africans, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Egyptology, all these things. And some of us have even, got these ancient Kemetic names. We attached ourselves to that. A lot of our people were sincere in doing that because, they were trying to find an identity for themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, what you should be trying to find out is who you are. Not trying to dress in costumes and be people of the past, other people trying to jock the styles of other people. You understand? Putting on headdresses and robes and things like that. It looks ridiculous. I'm gonna just come out and flat say it. It looks It looks retarded. You know, we sitting around here, you know, and we would be more up to date if we put on pilgrim outfits. You know, I mean, it looks ridiculous. You are trying to escape reality of where we are in this new day, and the fact that we're supposed to be bringing forward a new reality. You know, the beast, he constantly coined that term, new reality, new world. So obviously you see what his mind is, and then you wonder why he's always at the forefront of technology and new things to come, and we so far behind. Why? Because we got a lot of these old, useless ass substitute teachers who've stepped in the place of the last millennium leaders to misguide us. Because these niggas want to stay in power. They want to sit on thrones. They want to still be worshipped. They want to make money. They want all the pretty women. That's really what it's all about. About these people's ego. I talked about the ego a couple of nights ago. That's what it's all about. Slowing down our evolution with old, outdated teachings, last century teachings that can't help us today, taking our focus off of what we should be focused on, which is us becoming the better us. I said that's the focus of the state of MENTELLECT, building up the minds of the people, becoming receivers, being and finding our supreme selves. We're not trying to be in the image of Muhammad or Jesus or Osiris or Usia or Aset or, you know, we're not trying to jock their style. We're trying to find out who we are going forward. I made a statement on Facebook where I said that societies are temporary, gods are forever. I'm going to say it again. Societies are temporary, gods are forever. If you acknowledge that you are a true and living god or goddess, then we could build a society anywhere. Land mass, you know, people come and go. Lands come, societies come and they go. You know, if a lot of our people are in tune, like I said, we see that there was a time where our people were in Egypt and we built the pyramids and all this other stuff, was in power for thousands of years. Right? We was in power for thousands of years. And now you look, our people are not in charge of that land anymore. Right? So that just shows you how things could change. Things are always subject to change when people are on land masses. But what doesn't change is the intelligence of the people to stay ahead of the game. People have been able to cajole us with, you know, promises of land and nationality and, you know, and connecting back to our ancient past when we should be focused on the goddamn future. No, we're not going to go back to being Egyptians. No, we shouldn't be trying to be Jesus or Muhammad or whoever the hell, or trying to break down some old-ass lessons. No. Those of our people who are waking up, we're getting tired of the monotony. We're getting tired of the circular knowledge. We're going to start to wake up, and this is what a lot of these new millennium substitute teachers fear the most. They fear that you're going to start waking up. And you're going to start asking yourself, you're going to get dizzy. You're going to start asking yourself, why the hell am I still doing this? Why am I in this circular knowledge? Why do I keep reciting these lessons over and over again? How is this changing my life? How is this making me a better person? How is this advancing my way of thinking and changing my condition? Those of you who think that far. Those of you who want to lose yourself because you really don't want to focus on your life. You really don't want to look at your life because your life is pathetic. You know that there's a chance that you'll never get out of the projects or where you live from. You'll always be amongst the niggas. You'll always be in the same condition, the same job, the same dead-end job, go nowhere, career, whatever you're doing. You know, your life is not going to change. So, of course, you marry yourself into these teachings to try to, you know, dull the pain. Dull the pain that your life is going nowhere. You go into these movements, these groups, these organizations to numb yourself from reality. And that's what's happening. Our people are numb. You know, we escape in reality every day. But the people who get the greatest high, the people that get the greatest charge, are the people who embrace reality, who shape it, who focus on it into the future and change it. See, that's the power that we possess as new people. When I said that our people are the new thing under the sun, people didn't understand what I meant. I said that when, people made that ignorant statement, these Negroes who got that statement, there's nothing new under the sun, which they got from some white man. There's nothing new under the sun. Niggas sound like a broken record. There's nothing new under the sun, brother. What you talking? There's nothing new under the sun. I'm like, nigga, what are you talking about? We was always bringing something new under the sun. You understand? We always brought something new under the sun. We always brought some advanced, higher technology or new knowledge under the sun. Then we started believing, maybe there is nothing new under the sun. So then the white man's like, yeah, well, it is. I'm going to bring it through. If you guys don't, I'm going to bring it through. I'm going to bring it through the new technology and all this stuff. I'm going to bring the new things under the sun. Right? Because this place has to evolve. The ideas have to evolve. The people have to evolve. And we got simple-minded niggas who want to be leaders standing in the way. Blockhead niggas who don't want to get the hell out the way for the new millennium knowledge that come through. They want to keep you in lessons and degrees and Bibles and Qurans and all this other stuff in a heavy rotation. You understand that? When a line is being drawn. This sister said to me on Facebook, she said, I keep seeing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I keep seeing all the ones. And the 0 and the 9 and the 1 and the 1 and the 1. I said, that means it's a new beginning. We 12 years into the new millennium. We in 2003. We 12 years into the new millennium. 1 and 2 equals 3. Right? 13, the number 13, 1 and 3 equals 4, which is reminiscent of the fourth dimension, the fourth plane, the mental plane, which is the plane where we're supposed to be receiving higher intelligence, advanced ways of thinking. We should be making ourselves into a mind, a blank mind, to be receivers. That's why we put together the state of Mentel, to become mentalists. We are mentalists. We are blank minds who are open to receive higher intelligence. We blotted out all of the last millennium schools of thought because they were only meant to get us to the point that we are now. Proof of that is when I said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a receiver. Though his people didn't understand that, they really think that all that knowledge that he was coming through with was from Master Fard Muhammad. And I said that Fard Muhammad was actually the messenger and Elijah was God in person, but y'all didn't see that. Because Fard went away. He came, left a messenger, went and left. He didn't stay. Elijah stayed with y'all for 40 years. And you seen Elijah as he was started to shine, his skin, his face, everything started to shine. You started to see the God come out. That order of who he was and how he was put in place to be the teacher for 40 years was beyond Fard Muhammad, was beyond even him. They were instruments that were used to put that man in power because he was chosen way before his birth, way before Fard was thought about. So all you people getting into Fard and celebrating his birthday, you had God in person, but that's a mindset of the people in the nation. That's their thing, where, they still got that image up of the white man. Some of our people still got that image in their mind. They can't acknowledge that a black man was actually God, even though they say it. God, or the title of God in that supreme state, moves through our people, not through anybody else. Everybody else here is just messengers, same as the white man. He's just a messenger here. He's just a messenger. He's just an instrument to bring things through for the time being. An artificial instrument. We are the natural instruments or the instrumental beings to bring things through. Technology. We are the receivers or the rays from the sun to receive those light messages of higher intelligence. That's us. However, we've been taken out of our place because we had simple-minded niggas telling us there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new. Just study them lessons, brother. Keep studying them lessons. You're going to get a deeper meaning out of them. Keep studying the Quran. Keep studying the Metu Neter. Keep studying the 613 laws or whatever, the 614 commandments, whatever. Keep rocking back and forth and doing yoga and praying and studying magic and witchcraft and whatever the hell you niggas talking about. Yet you know with all this stuff you niggas study, nothing changes. Your lives don't change. You're still under the damn white man. You still under the beast. You still under his watch. Under his on his watch. When it was supposed to be actually the other way around. You understand that? You were supposed to be the watchers and the caretakers of the planet. Now he is. You traded power. You traded places. Like that movie Trading Places. Y'all traded places. So now you see what's going on now. You see the world is out of order because the natural receivers, the natural instrumental beings are not in their place. Why? Because y'all keep following these last millennium teachings that are taking you in a circle to nowhere when you're supposed to be moving in a straight linear line to higher intelligence. You're supposed to be receiving higher intelligence, light knowledge or bright knowledge. I said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a receiver or a ray based on what he set up. You knew that the Nation of Islam at that time when he was the leader was the premier organization. Why? Because the God, you understand, was there. He was the Amen of his time, the Amen Ray, the receiver, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was the Amen Ray of his time, the receiver, because he set up an order and he set up a structure. And his order and his structure was based on light. He was the light bearer. That's why he really used the star and the crescent, because what does the star and crescent really represent? Don't listen to that nonsense people tell you this means freedom and equality and justice, all that. No, it meant light. A star gives off light. A crescent or a moon is reflection. It gets a reflection from the sun. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad actually used the sun, moon, and star. The sun gives reflection, gives light off on the moon, and reflects the light of the moon. Or should I say the sunlight gives the moon its light. Reflection. He was the reflection. That was the symbolic of saying that he was the reflection of something, of higher intelligence, light, star, sun, moon, and star. All things dealing with light. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our people were mentally dead. I always say that. That lets you know that he was a receiver because he understood that that our problem was a mental problem. It wasn't a religious problem. It wasn't a problem really with the white man or anything else. I mean, you know, he called the white man the devil and all that, you know. But he understood that it was a mental problem, mental reception, mental frequency. We wasn't receiving the right frequencies in light, intelligence. Though he didn't say it that way, he was saying it in a primitive way. Why? Because he was receiving knowledge that was for that time. Same thing with Dr. York. Dr. York's first book was The Mind. So obviously that man focused on the mind, first and foremost. Then he had to go into the stuff that he really didn't want to deal with, like the African stuff and the Egypt stuff and all this other crap he went into. Because he said himself, he said, I can't give you what you want till you learn what I had to give. You know? And he fed people what they wanted. Now we're in a new millennium, and I'm not giving people what they want. You understand? I'm giving people what they need. I'm giving people that advanced knowledge, the knowledge of MENTELLECT, because each man taught certain levels of MENTELLECT, meaning knowledge that was for the mentally elect or the chosen ones. How you know that is because higher knowledge is always going to be for the chosen people, the advanced people, the people who think on a higher level. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not for the black race. Though they use terminologies like Nubian and they talk about, you know, for the black people and the black so-called black man, it was just a way of shaking the crackerjack box to get some of our people out of it. They knew, those men were wise enough to know it wasn't going to be the whole black race. Of course not. A lot of our people are no different than the beast. They vibrate on a low mental frequency with the beast. Hell, some of the beasts, they vibrate on a higher frequency than some of the Negroes out here. So it ain't, you know, all that, you know, we hate the white people. We don't hate no white people. I don't. You understand? But it's all about frequency and advanced ways of thinking, higher levels of thinking. We're supposed to be moving on our own evolutionary line. We're not supposed to be thinking on the same level as everybody else. We're not supposed to be thinking on the same level as the human race. No, I'm not racist. I'm a mentalist. I acknowledge that we're supposed to be moving on our own mental perception, on our own mental procession. Excuse me. That we're supposed to be proceeding in a linear state, which is what the humans don't move on. They move in a circular state. They move in rotation, in a revolutionary state. And a lot of these Negroes, they vibrate on that same frequency based on the old teachings that they keep going in this new millennium. What else do you call it if you still talking about the same teachings from last millennium? What else do you call it if you still doing the same things? If you got people trying to revive old movements that was only good for that time. But you get people who are personality driven. You get people whose intelligence only goes but so far. And these are the people that end up being the leaders. These are the people that the intelligent people end up following. But what's supposed to happen is, and why I always say I post in these groups, is to find the 1%, to find my people and take them, extract them from these groups before it's too late. Because we're going through a mental famine right now. What I mean by that is we got a whole lot of people out here that's just saying anything, just talking all kind of madness, just to get your money, just to distract you, just to keep you giving all kinds of, giving them your attention. Because the biggest thing in this society today is distracting us. That's what it's all about. It's all about distraction. That's what all these last millennium groups are. Just a bunch of distraction. Just getting us to focus on things we got nothing to do with. It's nothing we could do about slavery. There's nothing we can do about ancient Egypt. There's nothing we can do. Why are we trying to be in the image of other people? That's cheating us. That's cheating us of who we supposed to be becoming or going forward to. We're supposed to be doing so much more. But we can't because we got these old people and they old ways holding us back because of their ego, because they want to keep these movements going. They don't want to get the hell off the throne. They had their time in the sun. Or the men that preceded them who were sincere came, they did what they did, and they left. You understand? They'll live on in our memories forever. But their movements, they only exist for those people whose minds are locked into those ways of thinking. You got some people who in Islam, they'll never be able to move past Islam. Their mind just don't think on that level. They don't think that far. So, no, I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at anybody for not being able to move beyond those ways of thinking. You got people whose minds, they're never going to move outside the Quran. It's never going to move outside the Bible. It's never going to move outside the Metu Neter or ancient Egypt or metaphysics or Nawapu or whatever our people studying. You got a lot of our people whose minds never going to move beyond that. And then you got niggas who'll be able to talk about, oh, what you talking about? Ain't nothing beyond that. Yeah, because that's how your mind works. You really believe that. You really think that's real. You really think there's nothing beyond what you're studying. Ego, pride, like I said in the last broadcast, ego and pride. They'll get you to believe that. No, this knowledge I came to teach, the knowledge of MENTELLECT, was not supposed to, it's not some knowledge that goes along with the last millennium knowledge. It is a break in the two. I said I came teaching something new. I'm not giving people what they want. I'm giving people what they need, and that is reception, higher intelligence. That's what we need. We don't need no more Egypt. We don't need no more Israel. We don't need no more Bible and no more Quran. When I talk about the book of Revelation, I only speak about that in passing because that's the last book and we in that time and we moving out of that time. And we don't need no more of these old millennium teachings. We don't need a bunch of people walking around still talking about metaphysics and walking around with Egyptian names and costumes on and whatnot. You got grown-ass men, grown-ass women walking around looking like it's Halloween every day. Talking about the ancient cultural costumes and their ancient garbs and their garments. Delusional people. Delusional people that wish things could go back in the past because you can't deal with the goddamn present. That's really what it is. That's what that really resonates. That's what that really translates into. You can't deal with the present So you got to go back in the past. You got to focus on what's going on in the past, and you got to you want to walk around and ashe and Oba to Allah, whatever the hell you niggas talking about. You know, Hotep, Hutub, and all this other nonsense. I mean, I don't care what you do. You could do that. I mean, that's nice. But for the people who are looking for something more, the people who are looking to develop themselves, because that's where the line is going to split at. That's where y'all going to get tired. You're going to be like, man, I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over again. I'm tired of living the way I'm living. How is this advancing me? How is this changing my way of thinking? How is this going to develop me into a better person or advance my children? You understand that? There's so much more that we can be taking in and transforming ourselves into by way of this intelligence, this knowledge of mentellect. I gave our people a new flag. You look at that state of mentality, that lightning symbol that's dealing with light again. Like I said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad dealt with light. Dr. York dealt with light. We dealing with light. It's a continuation. No, I didn't come to teach what they taught. A lot of people sit up here and say, oh, yeah, like I told you, he trying to hide the fact that he was a student of Dr. York. I said, no, I'm not. I was attracted to Dr. York, and I'm going to say it again, I was attracted to what they was doing because I recognized them as receivers, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. York, as receivers. You know what I'm saying? Rays, true rays. When I talk about Marcus Garvey and them, I said those were forerunners to the rays. They were fours, and you had rays. Those who were the forerunners who will receive bits and pieces, because the difference is that, you know, Elijah Muhammad, Dr. York, they were able to craft out or bring out doctrines and teachings and bring a order, not a culture, but an order to their movements. A law, a structure. That's the difference between people who are forerunners and people who are rays or receivers. Because a whole order, a structure, a name, an identity comes with that. Nobody's doing that in this day and time. Nobody's bringing it but us in the state of Mentel. The SOM.info. We are the New Millennium Movement, a future intelligence group, a mind-powered group, the mind group. Focused on the intelligence, because we've come to that point where it's about us. It ain't about the white man. It's not about the other races or why they don't give us this or the white man. It ain't about that no more. It ain't about that. If you look at the last speeches of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was pretty much saying that. You know, and he even said himself. He said, you know, if my true followers would, at the end of all this, my true followers would fit into a taxi cab. What he meant by that was that, you know, if they really acknowledged what it was that he was saying, and, you know, you took away all the Islam, what people thought it was, you know, and when they attached themselves to Islam and the religion and, you know, and the Arabs and all that, he said they ain't gonna really get it. You know, he was teaching something for that time. People teach things based on a time. This planet is governed by time, so we have to teach within a time. Within a timeline. These men taught in a timeline. You got certain men that teach in a timeline, and you got certain men that teach in a time circle, in an infinite circle. These men, these substitute teachers that took over their organizations, took their teachings into a time circle. Timelines and time circles. Meaning that they keep teaching these same teachings in a rotation because they want people to just keep following them and whatnot, and following and just, you know, so they can continue to be leaders. You know, don't you want to know who you are? Don't you want to develop into who you are? Do you want to keep being Brother Abu Bakr, Ashe, Aset, King Tut, Uncle? Come on, man. Are you serious? Who the hell are you? Stop trying to jock everybody else's name. Who are you? You should be wanting to be resonate and become that supreme being within yourself. Your own name, your own identity. Not trying to be the Moors, not trying to be the Muslims, not trying to be the Christians, not trying to be the Israelites, not trying to be the whatever the hell you come in there, the Egyptians or the Sumerians. Who are you today? Because you could look back at all those groups of people in the past and you'd be like, okay, yeah, those was the Kemites, these was this, these was that. Who do you resonate and who do you register as today? Because all those identities that we had in the past were identities that we were wearing for that day and time. We're not supposed to be wearing them in the new millennium. We're not supposed to be wearing these people's names in the new millennium. We're supposed to be coming up on our own identity. This is the time of realization right now. Beyond just going through a revelation, we're supposed to be going through a realization. Our knowledge for the new millennium is mentellect, but a lot of our people are not going to want it. But see, that's okay. It's not for all our people. It's not for all of them. Some of our people are going to still stay in those old teachings because it's like a memory card. Their memory card has been filled, and they refuse to empty it out. They refuse to dump it out and go blank. They refuse. They would rather keep this thing in a rotation. They would rather keep going in the same mindset. They would rather keep in the continuation, in the rotation, in the revolution. So when I say something like evolution, they go, you use the white man's term. No, I'm not using the white man's terminology. I understand the difference between the line and the circle. I'm marching on a line. I'm moving in a line. Y'all moving in circles. Circles of madness. That's why if you look at a lot of these groups from the past, you notice all these splinter groups coming up within the groups. Because what happens is you got people like they start to look and they're like, damn, I want to teach this. I want to teach. That's a sign that they all coming apart. You look at them on YouTube, they at each other's throat. Because what it is they're so bored with the old teaching. They heard all that before. So what these niggas got to do is just create excitement. They got to start going on YouTube and going against each other and battling and who got the higher knowledge and who got the advanced knowledge. Me against this brother against this brother. They doing the conscious thing. Everybody going against each other when people should be coming together and going blank and becoming receivers. But see, that's not going to happen because you got a lot of egos here. You got a lot of people that are in tune with the beast in blackface. A lot of niggas that's here to just cause confusion. That's the whole thing. So that's not going to happen. They want to keep these movements going. They want to restart old movements so they could be leaders because they're not receiving nothing from the future. They're not getting it. They just want to be leaders. It's not hard. They want to be heard. They want to be seen. Everybody wants to be an Indian. Everybody wants to be a chief and not an Indian. That's why, like I said, that's why they won't fold up all these old groups. That's why they won't be the younger ones. Like I don't feel bad when I see the older ones in it because I kind of understand it a little better with the older people. But when I see the younger people in it, the people 40 and under still in these old organizations, I feel sad as hell. I feel sad. I'm like, damn, these things was before your time. Those people born in 1970 and after, y'all supposed to be on a whole another level. And I'm not saying the people 69 and back aren't supposed to be with us, but the ones 1970 and after, y'all should be the new school, leading the new school. You understand that? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about the year 1970 being a new year. Dr. Malachi Z. York talked about that. That's when the comet Bennett crashed down here. The word Bennett means sun. And it's also, the word Ben means sun. All right? It's also representative of the Bennu bird that was talked about in ancient Kemet. They refer to it as a Bennu bird, the comet Bennett, flying objects, bringing intelligence on it, breaking open the circle on this planet, the revolutionary circle, to bring in higher intelligence, linear knowledge. That evolution took place. We was talking about this. Me and the sister was watching this thing. We talked about how, the solar flares coming to this planet. Major one coming in between this year and 2014. Solar flares and solar explosions coming here, shorting out lights on this planet, taking out the electrical grid and the system and things like that on this planet, taking out the satellites, the heat. What is really taking out all of that? What is in the heat? What's in the light? Messages, intelligence. It's going to be the jump those who are in tune mentally have been looking for. That's what this is. That's what this is, the jump we've been looking for. Where those who are in tune mentally are going to make those who are not look prehistoric. You're going to start looking. That's going to be the tier within the so-called black race. I talked about the evolution, where a lot of people are going to start looking primitive to you in these old groups, talking about this old stuff, talking about these old teachings from the 100 years ago, 200, 300, 4,000 years ago. They're going to start looking primitive to you. You're going to be like, damn, you still talking about that? Some of y'all doing it already. Hell, I've been doing it. I can't listen to no more Ashe and Black Power and Hotep, and I can't listen to that. I can't. When somebody go Salam Alaikum, I can't listen to that anymore. I can't see another brother named Muhammad or Ali and things like that. I can't. You understand that? I just can't. I can't do it. I mean, you can do what you want to do. I'm not criticizing anybody. You can do what you want to do. But I'm just saying, for the people who are moving forward, the people that are supposed to be at the forefront of this, receiving this higher knowledge, you're supposed to be receivers. You're supposed to be mentels or mentellian, the bright race coming out of the black race, the receivers. That's eternal. That's forever. That's something that will never get tired or die. We will always be receiving higher intelligence, those who are in tune. These people who are caught off in these names and these religions and these ancient identities and these cultural things of the past, like I said, they're going to look as prehistoric as cavemen. You understand? They're trying to damn their children to another monotonous turn of this nonsense over and over. They want their children reciting this nonsense. They don't want their own children to advance. That's awful. They don't want their own children to move forward. They sitting up here teaching their children that poison, that there's nothing new under the sun. Why? Because you niggas can't teach it? That's why you tell your babies that? That's why you tell the people that? Because you're not the ones bringing it? Hell, if it was nothing new under the sun, then, Elijah Muhammad wouldn't have came, Dr. York wouldn't have came, people wouldn't have brought things and whatnot that we wasn't previously doing before, even though they brought Islam and things like that. But they brought a higher degree, whether you want to refer to a degree or of it, and gave us a greater understanding of certain things for that time. It was part of our evolution. All these people played a part in our evolution. It was supposed to be like that. But we just don't know when to move the hell on. You understand that? I say my connection and my encounter with the teachings of Dr. York opened my mind up. I'm grateful to that man forever. I love that man forever. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad I look back, even though he passed away before I was born, but that man, his teachings opened my mind up. I didn't take any of his teachings and copy anything. You understand? Because he even knew the teachings that he would bring in wasn't his. It wasn't his philosophy. It wasn't his teachings. His students get that twisted up and whatnot when the man clearly said that he is a receiver. He used to put in his books, the receiver. So obviously, if he's receiving something that obviously ain't his, he's receiving it from a higher realm. And I say the same thing about the knowledge of MENTELLECT. I'll make sure I ain't going to say my knowledge. It ain't mine, but it's the knowledge of MENTELLECT that's coming through me. I said there's three types of people. There's people that come up with their own philosophy, a.k.a. your conscious people. You understand? Or the people that follow. The conscious fitting into the next one I'm going to say. You got your philosophical people, a.k.a. your white man and your Greek philosophers who come up with their own perception on things in life or what they think things mean. These are people whose perception is limited. These are your first thinkers. Then you got your second people who are your parrots. They copy what the philosophers say and take it and try to jack it for their own. These are your Negroes in the conscious community who study in metaphysics and Egyptology and all this other stuff and the ancient laws and all this other stuff. Those are your parrots. Those are your second people, right? That perception is even more limited because it's secondhand. But the third are the people where knowledge comes through them. They are an open window to it. They are instruments for that higher knowledge. They are that open window. They're rays. They're receivers. I said there were only two rays in the last millennium, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Dr. Malachi Z. York. I'm the third in this millennium. I acknowledge that. We'll be right back. I put in the news feed for the show on the broadcast on Blog Talk. I put a lot of the past conferences that we did, and our flag is in the feed for the end of the last century knowledge. I put that there for a reason, to give you a visual, to see what waits for us in the new millennium, the knowledge that waits for us, the Supermen, Superwomen project, in which I teach MENTELLECT, the knowledge of MENTELLECT, to my people. A lot of my people say, oh, well, he teaching some his own philosophy, well, he want to be a leader. No, nigga, I don't want to be a leader. No, nigga, I don't want to teach. I don't teach no philosophy. I don't have my own philosophy. You understand that? I don't have my own philosophy. I teach knowledge that comes through, and I'm sharing it with the people who are in tune, the mentalists, the people who are in tune mentally, who have blanked themselves out, who have dropped their egos and their pride and opened their minds up to the possibility of a higher intelligence, who acknowledge that that's real. That's reality. The only thing that's real in life is change. So if change is real in life, then how the hell you going to tell me ain't nothing new under the sun? That don't even make no sense. That would mean there'd be no change. You're not going to change to something that you already had before, because then that wouldn't be change. Niggas, they say stuff and they don't even know what they say. They just repeating what white people say. Like I said, niggas fit into that second category of the people who would just become parrots, the so-called educated, who just repeat anything the white man say, just so they can sound smart. And they're not even paying attention to what they saying. They just repeating anything. I said that it would come a time where our people would start being receivers again. It would come a time where we would be beacons for the light, for the messages. And they say, well, where is this intelligence, where is this knowledge coming from, brother? Do you read books and things like that, and this new knowledge that you're talking about, this knowledge of mental? I said, no, I don't read books. I don't read books, because if I read books, how could the knowledge be new? I said I'm teaching new knowledge. I stood on that. Everything I say, every time I get in these and when I'm doing the project or whenever I taught the past class, I said, we're teaching new knowledge. And nobody ever stood up against that. Nobody stood up against it. All the posts I post on Facebook, I say certain things, I let slip out, and I'll say certain things and whatnot. But I said I don't want to do a lot at times, because I'll lose people, because sometimes it's a little too advanced in what I'm teaching. And I said I have to slow it down some, because certain people are windows. We are windows for higher intelligence. We are receivers, because it's that time for us to advance. It's time for us to get the hell out of these old ways of thinking. We should not be following last millennium teachings, because it is slowing down our intelligence. We should not be following your father's masonry. You shouldn't be following your father's Islam or your grandfather's Islam or his masonry or his Christianity or no past stuff. You should be coming into the knowledge of who you are as mental beings, as receivers. That's what you should be coming into. You should be leaving the past where the past belongs, with them. And pioneering something totally new, something different. So when people say, oh, brother, how can you bring something new and whatnot? I'm like, didn't you not just hear what I said? I said the Egyptians, they built the pyramids, they did all this stuff. They brought technology that wasn't here prior to that. Nobody else had that technology on the earth. They still can't figure out how the Egyptians built those pyramids. So obviously they was dealing with some newer future knowledge or some high, and it has to be even further along than the damn white man is now, because even they couldn't build the pyramids. Even with modern day equipment, they couldn't build that stuff. So they was even further ahead than them. So we supposed to be further ahead than the Egyptians, but y'all niggas still want to be Egyptians. And you not even really know real Egyptians or Kemites or whatnot, because you ain't building nothing. All you doing is rocking their names. I guess you think by rocking their names and doing some rituals and praying and doing some yoga that you think you're going to become them. Nigga, please. In your goddamn dreams. They put work in. Real work. They didn't pray for it to happen. They didn't hope that it would happen. They didn't ashe and black power their way through it, because you niggas scared to get up and be real men and real women. No, they put work in. You understand that? They opened themselves up. You understand that? for you to sit up here and claim to be those people, like I said, they probably they spinning in their graves like, niggas, please. You know, they probably tell you move on, move the hell on, advance in your way of thinking, move to a higher level, move forward. But a lot of our people don't know what forward is because they caught in circles. Like I said, if you keep going in the rotation so long, you get dizzy where you don't know which way you're going. That's what's happening with our people that's caught up in that last millennium knowledge and those old-ass philosophies. These doctrines were meant to open the door to more advanced ways of knowledge, what we're supposed to be receiving now. That was their only purpose. Reason being is because a lot of that old knowledge, the masonry and all that other stuff, you know, it was linked to Egypt. It was just the white man, went through the white man and whatnot. A lot of it had his adulterated confusion on it. A lot of them all the old knowledge, though some light came through it, but a lot of it had his adulterated confusion on it. Mentellect does not. It bears none of his marks. I know people say, oh, well, you know, you got the S on the people's chest and whatnot and the thing like that. That's a serpent. Those 5 points mean something. They ain't the white man. That's something he jocked from us. We in tune with certain things, like I said. He's trying to stand in your place and tune into your frequency. He's trying to feed off of you. And you make it easy for him to feed off of you and the light that you're supposed to be receiving because you're kept in a constant rotation off of these old-ass doctrines. You know, you got some nigga trying to convince you why you should try to study the lessons and degrees and things like that and saying the same thing in a rotation and the rotation and the rotation. You got somebody trying to convince you, well, this is why, you know, you should look at the example of Muhammad and read the Quran, or you got somebody trying to convince you about the being like the people in the parables in the Bible and, you know, and yeah, the people in the Bible did this back in the day, and we had swords and all. Come on, man. Are you serious? Y'all need to get the hell away from these people, man. We need a mental jump. We need a mental upgrade. Or these modern day niggas, they make me laugh too. If you're not stuck in the past, you modern day niggas with your voting and, you know, your 401k plan and, you know, your everyday. Like I said, oh man. But at least they a little bit into the modern day and whatnot. But we gotta be the third door. We gotta be the ones that's moving into the future, away from these niggas that's caught in the present, and damn sure away from them niggas that's caught in the past, walking around with robes on and copper ankhs and all kind of madness. Somebody sent me a picture with some guy wearing a goddamn kilt with an ankh. I'm like, I was flabbergasted. That's about as backwards as putting a goddamn ankh on a red, black, and green flag. You know, all kind of madness. But this is what our people do. This is what we sitting up here believing. This is the thing. These are the conferences. This is the nonsense we going and listening to. Some low-frequency garbage. You know, dumbing us down when we're supposed to be speeding up. We're supposed to be taking in this knowledge and mental. And I'm doing my part. That's why I came with the Supermen, Superwomen project. Because I said the word supermen and superwomen, the word is short for supermental beings. Supermental, the word supermen project is short for the supermental projection. Mind projection. Mental power. Opening the door for telepathy and higher capabilities that we're supposed to have like a natural thing. It's supposed to be like smelling. It's supposed to be like as natural as our regular capabilities, telepathy, psychometry, and other higher senses, what I call MENTELLECT capabilities. That's what we're supposed to be inheriting now on the planet. But you can't get that when you got niggas telling you about the importance of the Quran and the Bible and the lessons and the Mesuneter and all that other old stuff. And you get niggas that'll get mad over that and be ready to fight you over it and kill you over it and whatnot. What kind of madness is this? Low-frequency beings. Low-frequency niggas that keep things going. And I tell you, I said I do this because I'm trying to take the people out of that. Move on. We got to move on, people. This world has nothing for us in the past. It damn sure ain't got nothing for us in the present. For you people to still believing that your vote count here and that you got a 401k plan coming and all that nonsense. You know, and you keep believing it in your blunt-filled haze when you smoking your weed or doing whatever you niggas are doing and your Jordans and whatnot. Like I said, this world has nothing for us. We should be focused on the future. Because when you get people together who are thinking on the future, when they Voltron together, and like I said, within the state, an intelligence group, you understand that? When you get those people to Voltron together, that light becomes stronger. That light becomes stronger. I said, when I do the Supermen, Superwomen project, I said, it's not like this radio broadcast. Not at all. It's not like this radio broadcast. It's more in depth. It's more about bringing out a new people, a bright race. Forget the black race. It's about bringing out the bright race. We ain't interested in the white people. We ain't interested in. We don't hate the white man. We don't got no grudge and no beef with the white man. He's not the problem. We're the problem. Because we refuse to move on mentally. We refuse to latch ourselves to a higher form of intelligence. And it's given to us, it's being given to the elect who are going to come out of the black race, the knowledge of MENTELLECT. For the mentalists within the state of Mentel. You got certain people, like I said, they want to try and mix certain things with their old knowledge because they don't know how to move the hell on. They want to mix in certain things. They want to take the new stuff that we going to give, and they'll take it and they'll try to adapt it into their old circular ways of thinking. It's not going to work. Because what we doing in the new millennium, in the knowledge of MENTELLECT, is totally separate evolution from what you're doing in a circle. What we doing in the linear state is totally separate from what you're doing in a circle. But certain niggas who just want to take things because the words sound cool and they sound hip, and you about as shallow as that. You understand? You don't want to help in bringing this new knowledge up. You don't want to be a pioneer in bringing this new knowledge to the people. You want to sit up here and be cool and hip, and you want to stay where you are because that's the move of a coward. It's safe to sit in meetings and talk about Ashe and Black Power and read degrees and lessons and things like that and not be proactive in the evolution of our people. That's safe. Nobody's safe. Nobody gets a goddamn pass because even them people that's doing that, they're going to have hell to pay because you held back the evolution. Those who holding back the evolution of our people are going to be destroyed, man. That's real. Maybe, like I said, through death, through misfortune, through desolation, through having their followers lead them all together because you know what you're doing. You know you're holding back the evolution of the people. You know that you're not offering them nothing. But like I said, I can expect that from the older people. The older people who just want to pray and have peace and peace of mind. And, they like that little world, because that's what they understand. I can understand that. But you younger people, y'all ain't got no goddamn excuse. You people 40 years old and younger, y'all ain't got no excuse. Even you people that was born 69, 67, y'all ain't got no excuse because you supposed to be in the new school. Even though y'all still part of the 69 and back, y'all with the old, but you still supposed to be renewing yourself and coming into the new school. You ain't got no excuse. There's no way you should be walking around talking about no Ashe and Black Power and all this nonsense. The world is dependent on you. The babies are dependent on you. The babies who are not yet here, but yet they are here in the future, are dependent on you because the knowledge is being fed from them to us to move us forward so that they can get here. And what I mean by that is that they exist in the future already. Just as the past exists, when we was on that timeline, the future exists as well. They counting on us. The babies are counting on us. They counting on us. They counting on us to move things forward. They counting on us. They counting on us to be the ones who are going to bear bring the new intelligence in. I said that we need a real evolution. We don't need a bloody revolution. We need a mental evolution. We need to teach our babies intelligence. Real intelligence, intellective thought. That's a new word in the state of mental, intellective thought. not informative people. We need intelligent people, people who are in tune mentally to be able to pull in intelligence. We need intelligent people, not informative people. See, all the informative people are going to keep us in the circle. They're going to keep us going in a heavy rotation of nonsense. So we have to say goodbye to you. We got to say goodbye to the old millennium movements. We can think of them, well, we can look back on them and see what it is that they were trying to lead us to, but we can't afford to give our attention to it any longer. We can't do it anymore. Y'all tired. Hell, I said the only reason I'm here teaching is because y'all wanted me here. When people get tired, enough people get fed up, they're going to produce something in the atmosphere that wasn't here previously. You produced me in the goddamn atmosphere. You produced this knowledge in me. Y'all brought the knowledge here. I was just open to receive it. That's real. Y'all helped feed the imagination. You opened the circle. You opened it with your mind. Y'all decided enough was enough. Y'all got tired of hearing about the past stuff. Y'all woke the hell up. Some of y'all woke up. Some of y'all ain't strong enough. Some of you ain't man enough or woman enough to walk the hell out of these old movements and drop these old ass names and just be you until you receive a new name. To receive your mentellectual name, your Mentellian name. That's a new race. A guard race, an almond race. I said the black man and the black woman are not part of the human race. And I stood on that. Nobody challenged that yet. And I could prove that based on what we look like, what's going through our head, how we vibrate. Nobody else is going to teach that. They'll say, oh, yeah, you're not part of the human race, but you got to tell us what we are. Don't just say it. You got to tell us what we are afterwards. Star symbols, future symbols, moving into, another realm. Might come a time, people talking about, you got people talking about, yeah, brother, do you think we're going to have a time where we're going to have to get our own land and set up another government somewhere else? We got to go. Hell, it's going to come a time where you're going to have to go to another planet. It's going to come a time where you're going to have to breed another planet. You understand that? That's going to come a time. Don't get so used to how things are right now, because those who are in tune, you see the decline of society every day. You see the things that the beast done let into society. That's the end. That spells the end. That tells you right there. When the morals of a society drop, that's the end of society. It's only a matter of time. The black man and the black woman, y'all right down there with them. You with it. You taking part. When you smoking your weed. When you holding back the evolution. When you trying to keep people in the rotation, in the revolution. You vibrating on the same frequency, the same mental frequency as the beast. You serving him. Because either you serving the evolution in the almond race or you serving the beast in the human race. You holding back the evolution. You're stagnating the people. You're stagnating the progress of the goddamn people. These doctrines were meant to advance us. We are part of a mental evolution. That's real. We are supposed to be at the forefront of a new mental evolution. We're supposed to be the new age people, the new movement, the new teaching, the new knowledge, the new identity. Hell, the state of Mentel is supposed to be the new witness protection program. You understand that? In a sense, I make a joke about that. So you receive a new identity, a new knowledge, a new direction, a linear direction, straightforward, where we move to a point and we never return. See, with the circular knowledge, the revolutionary knowledge, that's always going to be in a rotation, in a circle. You're going to arrive right back to where you want to keep studying the same lessons, the same doctrine, the same degrees, the same books, the same Quran, the same Bible, the same. No, Mentellect works like this. That's knowledge that we take, move forward, and we never return. That's how you move forward. That's how you evolve. Mentellect. Knowledge that's for the mentally elect, the chosen. Linear knowledge. Knowledge of the Amen beings, the God race. It is a reality. I say it's not a doctrine. It's not a philosophy. It's a reality. Mental evolution is a reality. It is the evolution of a planet, of a people. People knowing who they are, knowing who you have around you, knowing the changes that are taking place in this planetary system. Acknowledging it because it's going through an evolution right now. As you change and as you evolve mentally, so will the planet. You understand that? So will the people. As the planet gets chaotic, the people will get chaotic. The people come from the planet, the humans. But notice, you are the only ones that keep your composure. For the most part, our people will, we sometimes get caught up in hysteria of of mankind and the human race because we think we like them. But notice, we always keep our composure. But you see a dropping now in the intelligence of the people because, you niggas, y'all doing the same thing that the beast do. Some nigga was in Florida someday. They found him. I guess he was all high on drugs. He was biting off and eating somebody's damn face. Butt ass naked. You understand that? That's where our people. It used to be a time when we'd hear a news story like that, and we would think, damn, who doing that? We would think, who the hell's doing that? Now, we hear, we didn't have to ask. We already knew who was doing that. We already knew who was engaging in that madness. Now, it could be the black man. And I said, because of the black man not evolving, not being on his natural line, or the black woman not being on their natural line of procession, what happens? You acting like the beast now because you in the circle with them. You are moving in the same circle as them, so now you start doing what they do. Now you start biting off people's faces. You start molesting kids. You start pissing on women. R. Kelly, nigga. And you black men and women, y'all wasn't even outraged. You had niggas standing up for this madness, this filth that this nigga was doing. You understand that? You got black women walking around with blonde hair in their head and trying to justify that. Blonde, weaved in, wigged out white woman's hair, or some East Indian, or some goddamn Malaysian. Why? Because y'all not moving forward on your own natural procession. You're moving in their revolutionary circle. So, of course, you're going to start emulating them. To see the first line of procession, the first line of evolution started taking place amongst our people in 1970. Notice our people was wearing in 67, 68, 69, but heavily in the 70s, we was wearing our froze, our naturals. So much so that vibration was so heavy on the planet, that was actually a natural vibration of the planet. It was moving in a linear state. And what was so strong, the damn white man started trying to stop blowing, drying his hair out and trying to get afro. He was trying to follow you. That's how the damn planet's supposed to go. The damn white woman, what's her name? Bo Derek, damn braids in her hair with beads in her hair like a black woman. They start following you. That's how it's supposed to go. But then the niggas, they use some niggas, them country niggas down south to introduce the Jerry curl kit. Next thing you know, you niggas start perming your hair again, putting poison in your hair, straightening your hair out, breaking the antennas. You understand that? That's the first line of defense, breaking us down, getting us to be ashamed of our hair, our natural hair, how it grows up in the air. That's the first line of defense. When they could break a people down and get them to hate themselves naturally, that's the first line of defense where you getting them to get in that rotation with you bringing them down submentally. You breaking them down. You can get them to start bleaching their skin and hating who they are. You breaking them down mentally. You understand that? You breaking them down mentally. That's all done purposely. They brought the Jerry Curl juice in purposely. They brought in the rappers, these niggas with perms in their hair and all. They put these coon clown niggas in front of you purposely. You understand that? You think about it. You came out. Where did that come from? You know, the black man back in the 60s, he was still wearing a damn process in his head, a conch in his head, looking like a damn white man. He was wearing that style in his hair since they learned how to conch. 40 years they was wearing that style in their head. Right? That was all done purposely to bring down your vibration. And you niggas became degenerates. Right? Got into pimping and hoeing and then the black woman, all this stuff y'all sleeping with the beast, all this stuff you was doing, this filth that you was doing, and the stuff they got you back into doing now. Then the 70s came, y'all was wearing your hair natural, y'all had more pride about yourself. The sisters and the brothers was, more proud. Then the 80s come in, you niggas start getting foul again. You start getting foul again. Hell, now we in 2012. Fast forward, you black women walking around, blonde hair, blue contacts, bleaching your skin. You black men, y'all, you niggas got dreads all down your back and all kind of blowouts and perms in your hair and stuff like that because you don't want your hair to stand up no more. You know what I mean? So you doing all that, feeding that madness because we in that circle. We in the circle. We're not on our line of intelligence. We're not in the evolutionary state like we're supposed to naturally be, moving ahead of everybody. We're not there. We would rather be in the circle. A lot of our people, when I'm talking about the knowledge and intellect and the elect, a lot of our people, the ones of our people who are attracted to it, feel it, they're going to come to it. The ones of our people who not, because, your blood is mingled with the beast. You just got to be you naturally attracted to the circle because it's a lot of people. It's like a big goddamn club. It's a lot of people in the circle, so you want to be in the circle with everybody. You want to be in the circle. You want to be in the club. You want to be in the last millennium. You want to be in the conscious get-togethers because that's the hot spot to meet women, to talk your BS, to talk a bunch of nonsense and a bunch of nigger nonsense because you vibrate on low frequency. I notice a lot of our people who can't keep this vibration going, those are the people who carry a lot of the beast genetics in them because they find fascination in the world of the beast. They fascinated by all this stuff out here when it's nothing but a bunch of artificial crap that he designed, all to inform you, getting you to think in a formation. And a lot of your last millennium teachings, with these substitute teachers at the head of them, are feeding it. They're feeding your ignorance. They're keeping you in the circle. They don't want you to move into the light. They don't want you to move on the line. They don't want that. Because then you're going to stop going to their meetings. Then you're going to stop listening to their BS. Then you're going to start advancing. Your powers are going to start to come in. Your mental powers are going to start to come in. The Israelites talking about some spiritual power and some old medieval crap. No, that was mental powers. Though it wouldn't resonate as mental with them. So to them, they use kiddie terms like spiritual power. You understand? No, it's mental power. It's mental connection. Advanced mental connection. Our people are supposed to be receiving that right now. But like I said, you got a lot of people who stand in the way. But you can't see. It's for y'all to get the hell out of the way. Get out of these groups. Leave. They're not for you. They're not for you to follow. They're not for you to keep moving in circles. Because that's all you're doing. Circle of madness. Circles and rotations. Same thing over and over and over again. Drives you insane. Like I said in the class, I said when they tell you a person's crazy, what do? They say when a person's crazy in society, they move their index finger in a circle, don't they? Like that person's crazy. They move it in a whirling circle. Why do you think they do that? Because they know there's nothing but insanity in the circle. Circles by Chaka Khan. We'll be right back. Has a new knowledge come from beyond the sun? Hell yeah. And we just realizing that in the year 2012. Hell yeah. And that knowledge is called MENTELLECT. Because it's only going to be picked up by the chosen few. The frequency on it is high. It is light knowledge. What does heat produce? Heat produces light, or light produces heat. We are supposed to be receiving the knowledge of MENTELLECT, the elect ones. It's not going to be for the whole black race because they vibrate on a low frequency. There is a new knowledge coming from beyond the sun. It's going to be knowledge coming through the sun. The sun is supposed to be used. The light from the sun is supposed to be used to pass messages through. Okay? The sun is like a projector. That's what the sun is. It's a projector, like a motion picture projector, where you see the light in the motion picture projector shining on the screen. The planet is the goddamn screen. Your minds are supposed to be the screens, and you're supposed to be saving things on the screen from the light, aka the screensavers. You're supposed to be receiving that light from the sun, i.e. with messages in it. There's messages all through that light. There's messages into your evolution. That's why I said, if you look back in Egypt, when you see those God beings or those Amen beings or those advanced people with the solar disk over their head, that was that light they were talking about. They said, oh, they were sun worshipers and whatnot. No, they understood. This is what the Egyptologists ain't going to tell you. They understood that those represented rays or reception. That's why they like weird antennas on their damn head with the sun on it. Receiving higher intelligence, which kept them ahead of everybody on the goddamn planet. We're supposed to be receiving that same intelligence. But you want to be in that state, in that circle of madness of the old millennium teachings. How many of you are ready to give it up? How many of you ready to walk into the light, walk into the sun? You ever hear them when they say, when people die, they say, I was walking into the light. I was walking into the light. What does that really mean? They're talking about receiving a charge. You understand? Going into that higher mental frequency, receiving that light, that charge. And what's in that charge and what's in that light? Intelligence, intel, encoded messages from the God race, the Amen beings, those who exist beyond life and death. You understand? Life and death is only understood to us on this planet. The God race, the Amen beings, are on their own planet, which is moving in space, that is not bound by any solar systems. They created solar systems to give our planet light. They already have a natural embodied solar system in their planet. That's what they were talking about when they talked about Nibiru. That's what the Sumerians were talking about. You look at Dr. York's drawing in Nibiru, you see it had an antenna on it. Why did it have an antenna? An antenna is for reception. Right? It's for reception. Sending things. We are the receivers. They are the senders. Who are the senders? Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren. They are the Amen beings. They are the advanced beings. They are the God race. They're people. They are offspring. In the future, very simple. The ascension. That's who we should be living for. We're supposed to be laying down with highly intelligent men and women supposed to be laying down making a new bloodline. Not for some nigger or some niggerette. We're supposed to be bringing the God race forward in our genetics. I don't care if you sisters got children with these niggas who you know are low frequency beings. Leave these niggas. Find you brothers who are vibrating on a higher mental frequency. You brothers who got these sisters who vibrate on a low mental frequency, leave them. Find sisters who vibrate on a higher mental frequency, because that's what we're supposed to be doing as time goes on, coming together to bring a new progeny, to bring a new bloodline, to dump out our old ways and make new the babies that come on the planet. We're not breeding little niggas. We're not breeding black children. We're breeding Amen beings. a bright race. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's the future. But you can't tell that to niggas who caught in the circle, because to them, this sound like crazy talk. I'm crazy. What's this mad? What's this stuff this nigga talking about? This nigga on some space stuff. Let's go back and read the Quran. But that's not crazy, right? You niggas run around dyeing your beard red because some man dyed his beard red 1,400 years ago. That's not crazy, no. Or you believing some man was walking around with a big head named Yaqub? No, that's not crazy. And he had an island somewhere, like the island of Dr. Moreau. No, that's not crazy. You know. But you talking about future people, advanced intelligence, that's crazy? That's crazy? Or maybe you're crazy because you're not receiving it. You off. Maybe you're off. Matter of fact, nigga, you are off. Because that's madness in that circle. This is sanity. This is reality. A mental evolution. You don't understand it because there's no mental evolution for the majority of the black race. You will look at them and you'll see that they're just a ball of madness. They're no different than the Amorite or the so-called mankind, the Caucasians. They black Caucasians. The majority of our people are black Caucasians. That's the truth. Don't be sad because, oh, well, you know, I mean, it's a lot of them, and I don't know. So what? So what? Don't be put off by the fact it's a lot. It's a lot of us too. Those of you who are not afraid to come out from amongst the niggas, it's a lot of us too. It's a lot of the God race, the Amen beings out here, the ones who are part of the ascension, the ones who should be in the state of mental, the ones who are the true mentalists, the ones who should be walking with me in this day and time. That's who this is for. That's why I do this for, the 1%. That's why I pay this money for this radio broadcast out of my pocket for. I don't care about the money. I'm not driven by money. I'm not driven by ass. You know what I mean? I'm not driven by accolades and things like that. I'm driven by the evolution of the 1% that I want my babies in, that you should want your babies in. That's what I'm driven by. Now, of course, the intellectual do like women, of course. You know that. I just had to add a little humor in there. But I'm just saying that's not what I'm driven by. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having money. It's not nothing wrong with it. It's a tool to be used. There's nothing wrong with dressing nice. You know? The people, I'm going to tell you, the people outside the circle, the people that's with me in the state of mental, we have more fun outside the circle than you niggas have in the circle. Y'all the ones worrying about your problems and your bills and things like that. We handle our business. We ain't worrying about that. We just set up a business. We don't think in the limitations y'all thinking. That's what this is about. Not thinking in limitations anymore, because when you in the circle, you're going to constantly be thinking in a limitation. We don't work like that. We don't work off that type of energy. The SOM.info. The SOM.info. State of mental, the SOM.info, the mentalists, those who are trying to advance mentally, those who are advancing mentally, not trying. We don't try in the state of mental. We do. We build. We are builders by nature. We are supposed to be the next evolution of those great movements that came prior to us, like the Nation of Islam, like what Dr. York built, like what the Egyptians and the Sumerians, they societies they built. We're supposed to be the next generation, the new millennium. We're not supposed to be following the same thing over and over again. For those who want to, that's fine. I don't got no problem with you. I don't care. Do what you want to do. But for my people who are the 1% who feeling what I'm feeling, this is for you. I'm here to bring you out of that, to walk us into a new tomorrow, a new beginning. And you got certain people that will get angry at that. They'll get mad. They'll slander. They'll backbite. They'll be angry. But whatever. I don't really care. I don't feed on positive and negative comments. I feed on the evolution of a people. That's my fuel. That's my drive. I'm driven by that. You should all be supporting the Supermen, Superwomen project. You should be coming there. You should be trying to get it to your town or make your way to Brooklyn, New York to go. Everybody. Because it's about the evolution of our people. It ain't just me sitting around lecturing. It's interactive with our people talking and whatnot, and we trying to make it bigger. The first one we did on the 20th of this month went very well. We didn't get a real big turnout, but we're not concerned about it. We're gonna keep doing it till our turnouts get bigger because we're getting this message out to the 1%. We have to evolve. There has to be an evolution here. and it's coming onto the planet. Those almond beings, that God race, are trying to make a connection with us right now. Our children, your grandchildren, they trying to make a connection with you now. You understand that? That's why you're listening to me right now. Because a lot of the people, trust me, this message is not black friendly. This ain't for the black race. Like I said, this is for the people within the black, who are the God beings that are amongst the black race. The new bright race that are coming out of the black race. And like I said, this is just part of the evolution. When you see our people going through things and when things get bad, that's part of the evolution. Because what it's supposed to do is make our people stronger. The people who are going to be of the 1% is supposed to make them stronger. When you see the black men getting shot down, going to prison, all this stuff, they're collateral damage. We have to see that because it's supposed to make us smarter. You understand? It's supposed to make us smarter. It's supposed to make us stronger. It's supposed to make us think faster. That's what we advocate in the state of mental health, thinking faster. Surviving in the future world. That's what we teaching in the Supermen Project, as a collective, as a group, as a state, as a new people. That's what we advocate. That's what we pushing. We're not interested in sitting around talking about black power and Ashe and all that. We're not interested in that. That's before our time. That was their thing. We're not trying to be them. We're not trying to relive what they did. We're trying to pioneer something new. We're trying to bring our own higher and future knowledge through us. We're trying to make ourselves instruments for future knowledge, future intelligence. If you're not trying to do that, then you a waste of time. You serve no purpose. We don't need a bunch of people trying to put on costumes and escape reality and a bunch of delusional Negroes who trying to vote and they'll be trying to keep this thing going. That's the circular people. That's the 99 percentile. The one is powerful. Forget the 99. The one is powerful. They are powerful. People talk about, oh, well, brother, it don't seem like it's a lot of us. Don't worry about that. What did the white man show you in the story of Superman? Superman was one man. And Superman came here, he can control the whole damn planet by himself. Everybody looking at him as one man, so you imagine 100,000 people like that. That's a whole new society. That's a whole new nation. You don't need a lot of people. 100,000 people, 50, 20, 30,000 people, that's enough to make millions of people stand in awe. You understand? Like I said, a lot of the people here, they don't serve no purpose, man. They just here to line the planet. They like the new fertilizer. Just like the dinosaurs became fertilizer for the planet, a lot of the human race is going to be fertilizer for the planet. A lot of our people are going to be fertilizer for the planet. That's it. That's all they serve. That's it. The end. Because they don't want to raise their intelligence. They don't want to move forward. Hell, even the white race, they're going to have an elite group that's going to survive into the future. They're going to be more advanced. And the majority of the white race, they're going to go. But in an advanced group of the elite white people, they're going to stay. Your tree huggers, I told you, your tree huggers and your sunshine people, and we're gonna split off into a different evolution. We're not supposed to be into breeding with nobody, but we're gonna split it off. It's gonna be a respect, and we're gonna, split off. And I said, they're gonna bring down the population on the planet. That's real. I agree with it. Too many people here, too many useless people, especially amongst our people. Too many useless niggas. I'm not with all the black this and black. I'm not with it. It sound good. But the same niggas that talk this black stuff, black this, black that, the same ones that stab you in the back, take money from you, rob you, whatnot. So like I said, they no different than the beast. You understand? These are the people that are in the circular movements. You understand? The degenerates, the people who vibrate on a low mental frequency. We supposed to be raising the bar. We supposed to be raising the frequency. You supposed to make yourself an instrument for the raise. You're supposed to open yourself. You're supposed to open yourself up. You're supposed to clear your mind out of all your past preconceptions and misconceptions and be ready to receive this knowledge, this new knowledge of MENTELLECT. I have a lot to give to my people, the 1%. I have nothing for the black race. Nothing. But my people of the bright race, if you feel you are of the bright race, then check in. Let me know. You understand? Because I'm starting to notice I get the same rotation or the same. I don't like to say rotation. We don't use that, because that's for the 99ers. But we get the same people, and we get new people, of course, coming in and listening to the chat room and calling and whatnot, they are tuning in. You understand? They are checking in. They asking about the Superman, Superwoman project. They asking about the state of Mentel. They asking about membership and, bringing things to their cities and their town and whatnot, because we trying to make this connection, this frequency, this mental connection. Pay no attention to the people in the circle. Just watch these niggas. Watch them good and watch the rest of the mankind and the animals and the black animals and all. Watch all of the black animals, the white animals. Watch all the Hispanic animals. Watch all the animals like you in the circle, like you in the zoo. But pay no attention. Don't get involved in what they do. Keep it short. And it's going to get to that point in this day and time as you are advancing mentally. You're going to want to keep it short. You ain't going to want to get into a lot of conversation with them. You're not, because you're going to be advancing. You're going to look at them like, nah, I'm good. That's real. You're going to start looking at, I told you, you're going to start looking at your girlfriends, your boyfriends, whatever. You're going to start looking at them like, I don't really want to be with this nigga. Slow frequency nigga. I don't really want to be with this low frequency chick. That's how y'all going to be. You're going to even raise it up. You're going to raise the so-called aliens up on this planet. They talking about aliens and grays and stuff like that. You raising them up in your children. The aliens are nothing. So-called aliens are nothing but outputs on other planets of that were part of another creation that came here. The almond beings created on all kinds of planets. They created a soldier or renegade race on other planets. That's why they come here. They only dealing with the caretakers. The creations are dealing with the creations. I'm going to talk about that in one of the broadcasts. Maybe that'll be Friday's broadcast, where I'll talk about the ETs and the Greys and why they, and certain ETs and things that they talk about, and why they don't make contact with black people, and they make contact with the white man. I'm going to talk about that. It's a frequency thing. It's a creation thing. It's a lot of things with that. But it will make sense, logical sense. All higher knowledge, I say this, all higher knowledge is supposed to make sense. All advanced knowledge. That is the one thing where you know whether it's real or it's BS. Mentellect, though a lot of people have heard and they'll say, damn, I never heard that before, but it makes sense. That's when you know it's real. That's when you know it's not my philosophy. You understand? Because if it was my philosophy, you would have heard it somewhere before. You would have heard it. If you didn't hear it before, then it's not my philosophy. It had to come from beyond the sun. Hello? It had to be something new that's now under the sun. And we as receivers, or those new people, would naturally receive new things from under the sun. Hello? So when these brain dead niggas sit up here and talking about, oh, ain't nothing new under the sun, yeah, it ain't for you because you brain dead. Now, Elijah Muhammad talked about you niggas already. You niggas are mentally dead. Of course you're not going to receive nothing. You a broken radio. You a broken antenna. You black men and black women, the majority of y'all are broken antennas and radios. So what do you do when you have a broken radio that's not receiving? You throw it in the garbage. Y'all don't serve no purpose. We supposed to be lighting up this planet like 100 points of light, man. We supposed to be using more of our brain power. That mental frequency is supposed to be opening up more of our what's the word I want to use? Of our mental canal and just bringing forth new lines in our brains, opening up new passages in our brains, so that we can start thinking faster, more output. We don't need to be slowing down our thinking. We need to be speeding it up. We need to be opening our minds to advanced thinking and dumping out the old ways, so that certain images are allowed to generate into our minds. But that's not going to happen if we stay in these old ways of thinking. That is not going to happen. If we stay moving in the circle, that's not going to happen. I make myself blank every day to generate new images. I open my mind to generate new images every day. Advanced ways of thinking. It's not me. This is change. Change is reality. If change is reality, then of course that means there has to be something new coming under the sun. There has to be something new under the sun. If change is reality, you can't change into something that's already here. Right? And I think we agreed that the white man, he done already exhausted his so-called intelligence. He pretty much exhausted it. You understand that? Right now, he's living on speculation, and he's trying to venture off and open himself up to higher intelligence. But he's pretty much exhausted it. That's why you see the music is garbage, the television shows, right? All is garbage right now. When he was more in tune with things, you've seen better everything come out. The television shows was better, the writing was better, the music was better. He would let certain he had standards, though we produced all the music, but he had certain standards on what kind of music. Now he ain't got no standard. Any kind of music come out. That just shows you that's the fall of a society. That's the fall of it's a mental breakdown in society. That tells you, that shows you right there. Anytime you okay bestiality and pedophilia is okay now. That shows you right there if you pay attention to the signs. But a lot of our people are not paying attention to the signs because they still want into the circle. They want in. A lot of our people want in. That whole civil rights thing was made to induce your want or create a want in you so that you would want into the circle. And a lot of you niggas, it worked. Because y'all in the circle now. You in. You a part of it. You exist as a part of the circle now. You are the black section of the circle. You are the colored section. You are the black Muslims, the black Christians, the black Israelites, the black metaphysicians, the black Egyptologists. Hell, you got that. You niggas with that ankh now, with your copper ankhs. You got gays and lesbians, white gays and lesbians wearing the ankhs. They was wearing them in the 60s and the 70s and whatnot. They still wearing the ankh. They shared it. They wearing that with you. So what does that say? Nothing is sacred with you. Nothing is yours. You exist as the colored section of these people because you vibrate on the same frequency. I see y'all, majority of our people, I see them as no different than the beast. Hell, I said a lot of times the beast is better than you niggas. Because at least, like I said, they'll act more, that's sad when they'll act more decent than the majority of our people. You understand that? That's sad. And I say all the time, I'm not a racist. I'm a mentalist. I deal with people's mental capability or their reception, and how the mentality of people. I don't deal with the race. I deal with the mentality of people. Not interested in you because you're a black man, you a brother. That don't mean a damn thing to me. You understand? I don't hate you because you're white. I don't hate nobody because of their race. I dislike you because of your mentality. That's why I'm a mentalist. When we was using that word, we started using the word mentalist, and we spelled it the way we spelled it because it's actually it was based on a different frequency and an ultra standing that was different from the white man. And when he does mentalist and mentalist, I said we was calling ourselves mentalists, and then it's funny as we start putting it all online, and all of a sudden, because we was calling ourselves mentalists before that show came out with the white guy Simon Baker, the mentalist. We was been referring to it. Then all of a sudden, here come that show, the mentalist. That was based on a different frequency. A lot of simple-minded Negroes think we trying to be different. We just trying to spell it different and whatnot because you niggas still got that cool, circular cool nonsense, nigga nonsense in your head where you think we trying to be cool. We not trying to be cool. We're not interested in being cool. You understand? We're not interested in being cool. We interested in being hot. We interested in being warm and hot. We interested in speeding up. You understand? Raising up. And the best way you can raise up is when you're hot. Because heat causes things to rise. All right? You have hair on your head as heated air. Proteins that is given raised by heated air. That's why you have what's called hair on your head. It's given raised by heated air. All right? Protein that is heated by air, which they used to call ether back in the day under Dr. York. Heated air. Giving a raise to your hair from your solar plex. These are the things we're going to start talking about in the state of mental amongst the mentalists. Certain knowledge we'll give out amongst the masses, and certain we'll give out amongst the mentalists. We have the masses, and we have the mentalists. The 1%. I'm only interested in the 1%. The SOM.info for you people. The SOM.info. New knowledge that's going to advance our way of thinking. That's going to be practical knowledge. I'm not interested in teaching some heavy, deep knowledge that we can't practice and that we can't utilize. We're interested in teaching knowledge that's going to advance us as a collective into the future. Create or bring manifestation to intelligent people. But we should be first and foremost focusing on building schools for our children and educating our children in their formative years from grades 1 to 12 in their formative years. So if they do go out into the world and go into college and things like that or to universities, then they are already formed already. Their way of thinking is already formed. They are already cemented. You understand? They're already cemented in the world. They already have a foundation to stand on. Unlike how you niggas send your kids, you know, and I'm not saying it's all your fault because you don't know, but we have to put a stopper on that where y'all send y'all kids to these public schools, and what they really end up doing is they're forming the person your child ends up becoming. They get your children in their formative years for 8 hours. It's not just about teaching them the A, B's, and C's, reading, or the three other reading, writing, arithmetic, which is not an all. I don't know why he came with that, but it's not about that. They're forming who your children become in society. They're educating them with information to get them thinking in the information. And at times, what happens is your children rebel, and they drop out of school, and they end up going in the street and robbing and stealing and selling drugs and trying to get money because they want things sped up. They want to think faster. They want to be advanced people. That's what ends up happening. Their intelligence is dumbed down, and they see that. Their thoughts are altered with artificial ways of thinking, and they rebel and they reject it. Their imagination, their imagination is not stimulated. You understand? It's not stimulated. And they do that for a reason. They teach your children that way for a reason. Same way they keep you nice and sterile in these old millennium movements. Same way. They make you bland. They make you robotic. They purposely create an educated person. Someone who is taught how to think or what to think as opposed to using their natural intelligence. They tell you, they take your blank space and they put what they want to put on it as opposed to you utilizing your natural intelligence. They don't want that. We've come to the end of our broadcast. Join us Friday night at 9 p.m. I don't know what the broadcast is going to be, but it's going to be something good as always. State of Mentel Supermen, Superwomen Project Session 2 will be in New York City, June 24th. We will be in Washington, D.C., and on July, I believe, 14th or 15th. I'll give further notice. Sister's helping put that together for us because she wants the Superman, Superwoman Project coming out there. And we're going to build up the State of Mentel. We're going to build up our movement into the future. You know, this is for the evolution of us. We can't no longer depend on these old ways of thinking because they're breaking down. We tired. We can't move forward with them. We can't advance. Where there's no advancement, where there's no room for growth, what happens? You start to break down. You start to get tired. You start doing the things that the people in the circle were doing. If there's no higher intelligence, no master teaching going on, no greater knowledge going on, then, like I said, you start to break down. You understand that? You start to break down. You start to do the things, like I said, that everybody else is doing in the circle. And is that not happening with our people? These old movements are not holding our imagination. They're not making us want to advance and be in these things. They're just making us, dislike them. And we getting out of them to go back into the world and be nothing, to be zeros. That's what's going on. But now, in the future, in the forefront of us now, we have something that's going to advance us, advance our intelligence, the state of mental, for the mentalists, for the 1%, those who are coming out of the black race into the bright race, supermen and superwomen amongst average men and average women. Yes, we should want to be supreme. We should look for supremacy. We should court supremacy with a vengeance. Join us again Friday at 9. Check for the topic. I am the intellectual Nuben Menkares. This has been State of Mentel Radio. Good night.